Up and Adams, what a show. We have an insane show today. Hall of Fame guests. Drew Brees will be here fresh off the Saints, naming Spencer Rattler as their starter. Was he surprised? Question mark. We'll dabble around the league there. He's revealed a Super Bowl pick this morning. He says it's the Bills. I'd like to know how that happens. He'll take us down that path here in August. We're like a week away from kickoff. This is such a good time right now. And we also have, this is special, 5-time All-Pro, Super Bowl champion, Ndamukong Suh is here. We'll talk a little NFL, a little Lions, a little D-line play, and much, much more. I saw him in London 2 years ago and have not spoken to him since. I'm excited. I wonder if we can light up that 2014 text chain that he's talked about and see where that takes us. Also, THEILEN is a Viking. What a time in the NFL on this Wednesday ahead of what's going to be a brilliant and super fun kickoff next Thursday. Then we've got a YouTube Brazil AFC West juggernaut matchup between Madison Beer and Taylor Swift. It's going to be epic. It's going to be unbelievable. That one in Sao Paulo and only on YouTube. I will be in Brazil for that. I'm excited. I've never been to Brasilia, Hamilton, ever. Never been. Very excited to go. I'm trying to think. Carol G, I believe, the halftime performer. That's like big time. That'll be epic. And we'll see just what these Chiefs look like that everybody is sleeping on. And I think it'll be a rude awakening for some and a fun awakening for you and I, who, not that we weren't always on the Chiefs, but there was this appetite for the Chiefs that I was not a huge part of in the beginning, I'll be honest. Mm-hmm. But you guys can't, but we can't like disrespect what is happening, what is just and good and true. That is right before our eyes. So I'm excited to see that one. And I can't believe we're here.
Yeah, I know. 8 days away. I know also, you always have to kind of course correct things when teams aren't being talked about enough. You try to hype them up. When teams are being talked about a little too much, maybe you try to balance out the scale. So it is crazy that we've gotten to that point now where it feels like everyone's just overlooking Kansas City.
It's true. And then everyone's really high on the Bills. So is this then, do I stop talking about the Bills because everybody's picking them as their Super Bowl champ? No, I love the Bills. I love that they got that Cook deal done. I will say, you know what I got? We got to show you this before we get going here. And I know we got lots to talk about. I know Packers fans are probably watching like, get to it, lady. I just got home. This came in the mail. The 1587, this is the Travis KELCE, Patrick Mahomes restaurant opening in Kansas City.
Unbelievable.
I don't even know what's in here. Follow me on Instagram. I'll do the unboxing. But I've got to get to KC. Maybe I got to get to KC and get that done. Did I tell you that I went fishing with my nephews and used Chick-fil-A on the end of my hook because I wouldn't put a worm on it? That's a story for another day. Instead, follow the show, subscribe to the show. We've got great content. And we know when things are going to happen, okay, here on the program. Adam Schefter reporting that Adam Thielen is on his way back to Minnesota exactly 1 week after I said, hey, Kevin O'Connell, I would like this to happen. And here's how that went. You know what I want to see?
What do you want to see?
The local boy to come back.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd like those golden gloves and that Detroit Lakes gentleman. What is that smile?
This is the first I'm hearing of that idea.
Oh, so what do you think of that idea? I like the idea.
No, I love Adam Thielen.
I love that smile, and I like that. I mean, I can't say he wasn't being honest with me, but maybe he was crossing his fingers as he sat there. I didn't look. I'm not too as good of an investigative reporter as some, but there was a little something in that smile, right? And it just made sense, okay? Did I talk to agents and stuff? No, I'm not an insider. I don't do those things, but I just feel like I was saying, a depth move, Jordan Addison situation, this sort of remedies that. And make no mistake, this is a nod of belief in JJ McCarthy. This is we know what we have. The sense I got from Aaron Jones and Kevin O'Connell is that this is the year we put it together from the jump. We showed up first day of training camp and it wasn't let's figure things out. Even with a quarterback who's never taken a snap in the NFL, even with that, They had him last year. He was picking things up. They have such belief in this team to take the leap. And that leap is a Super Bowl or you're going to be disappointed, okay? That's just what it is. They're leaving no stone unturned. It's not a cheap deal to get Adam Thielen. It's a lot of money, okay? It is a 1-year investment to go in this year and make a run at this thing. And I love that. And they've got these weapons clicking and taking place. I will say this. When I was in Mayakoba, April? When was that? May? March. Ooh, okay. I was in Mayakoba in March for the NFLPA Golf Classic. And there were these foursomes from different team, whatever. There was some like spillage of different squads. So it wasn't like you had to stick with, the team that you played for or whatever. And the most tight-knit foursome was Adam Thielen. There we go. JJ McCarthy, Case Keenum, of course, Vikings fame, and Harrison Smith. And look at them drinking their cute Mayakoba coconut waters. This is when, just so we're clear, this is when I decided JJ McCarthy's a winner. JJ McCarthy's that guy. It was through, of course, they're talking to him and aura and presence. We know he's a winner, all those things. But it was talking to Case Keenum. It was moseying over to Harrison Smith, to Thielen. Thielen speaking about this guy is the real deal. This is nothing about the Panthers. Panthers are in a good place. They have depth. They're like letting go of guys like Renfro, who was going to get, a great route runner who I was obsessed with too. This is more a move about confidence in this team from the front office, from the coach. Like, let's go get this piece that I think is going to fit in seamlessly. But they had chemistry back then. Adam is so excited this morning. Was I working on behalf of Adam Thielen? No, but am I excited for these Vikings that this got done? Absolutely. They are going all in. And I can tell you that the chemistry between JJ McCarthy and Adam Thielen, it is already there and it's been in the works this offseason. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's do this. What do I want to do here? Oh, by the way, the Vikings, let's take a look at the odds. Right here, FanDuel Sportsbook. Okay, so they have the third longest odds to win the NFC North at plus 280. All these teams are going to be really good. And then this all might change if something happens with Micah Parsons. I know there's a lot of questions, a lot of thoughts on what's going to happen with Micah. It takes two sides to make a deal, okay? I think that there's a sentiment that there's teams out there like he's not available. They're going to get this done. That's what most analysts think, right? We'll see what Ndamukong Suh has to say about this. We'll see what Drew Brees has to say about this. So the Micah Parsons of it all, I've said this last week when I ended my tour in Green Bay. There's obviously rumors overnight that could happen. And I think those rumors are swirling because it does make sense. And if you're Green Bay, you have to do your due diligence there. And this is sort of my thoughts. Take a look at this. There's a move that could be made that would make you undeniably the favorite in the division. And I'm just curious if there's two moves actually, one or the other. And I'm just curious if those are attractive to you.
No idea what you're talking about.
0%? Isn't Dave Micah's agent?
He is.
Micah Parsons' agent. I'm just putting that out there. That would be kind of fun.
Right, that would.
That would be kind of. I would just like to see that. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. Well, I want to bring Micah here. Okay. I'd like to make that happen. Yeah. But I feel like you ruined it with that game.
No, I talked to Micah this offseason. We did a podcast together. I talked to him. I recruited him a little bit.
I know, but I don't think Jerry will let it happen because it's you.
Maybe.
I was, of course, talking about the Netflix series, The Gambler and His Cowboys, with Jerry Jones wiping a tear away, saying they took something from me. This is like the worst loss I've ever been handed by the Packers back in 2023, I believe, in the playoffs, and Aaron Jones was still a Packer running all over them, and the Cowboys just got laughed out of the building. Does that affect things? I don't know. I'm pretty sure wherever he goes, this is like very, very, very rare. That's why it's such a sexy thing that everybody's talking about all day. Very rare to have a non-quarterback be one difference maker that can truly take your team from being, who knows who's going to win the NFC North, to you might go to the Super Bowl if you get this piece, especially when it pertains to these Packers, who it is go time with the way this roster stands right now. They do have the dough. They have the cap space. And every time I was in Appleton, okay, all right, here we go. I was in Appleton, and what are we looking at right now? What is this? We're just looking at Micah highlights. I love that. I was walking around Green Bay and Appleton, and it was me saying like, Michael, I got a lot of like, ooh, I don't know what. And I just said, hey, Reggie White, just Reggie White. Can we have some Reggie White highlights here? Because this is your precedent, right? He led Green Bay to a Super Bowl with that 3-sack performance against Bledsoe and helped them get back to another the next year. You can also look, if we're doing Packers vibes here, at Charles Woodson. He transformed the defense the second he showed up. We're talking about these rare difference maker. And let's not forget that it wasn't just about Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay had the number 2 defense in the entire game in business during that Super Bowl 45 run. If there's one place in the league where historical precedent matters and also tends to repeat itself, it is Green Bay, Wisconsin. There is some magic there. You can't tell me that adding MICAH to this 2025 Packers defense wouldn't immediately vault them off the board. Take a look. They would instantly be the favorite to win the North. I said this last week in Green Bay as I was trying to broker this as the Packers official fan GM. And if I were in the business of making Super Bowl picks, I'd be awfully tempted here. This would be one of the most significant trades in NFL history if it were to happen. Again, there's 2 sides to everything. There's also the idea that, like, as we go to break here, because we have Ndamukong Suh on the show, Ndamukong, long time with the Lions. You don't want the Lions to have Parsons if you're the Packers. The Vikings could still weasel something and potentially make. You don't want anybody else in the North to get Parsons. So if there's something to happen, I think the Packers are all over all of their options, as Coach LaFleur would say. Okay, coming up next. Do I miss this man on the field destroying quarterbacks? I do. Do quarterbacks miss him? Probably not, but he's here. And Ndamukong Suh, back in the show after this. Hamilton, I think I've asked to have Ndamukong Suh on the show like every day since we started this show.
Yeah, it's been years. Very excited for this one.
Heck yeah.
I need to hear more about this fishing. Were you using the waffle fries, the nuggets? What was the bait situation?
The chicken. We were trying to catch a walleye, maybe?
Oh.
A walleye? A northern are hard to find. They're rare. I learned that. Bass.
Yeah.
No, I didn't catch anything.
The
idea of like, what do you want to do in my head is like, want to go to Target and like buy a bunch of stuff, or like let's go fishing. It sounds like it's just the most fish out of water, pun intended, thing that you could possibly do with me. But it was fun. It was so fun. I had like the best time with my little nephews. And I'm back in LA, awesome. Brazil next week. I can't believe we're here.
I know. That's going to be a great broadcast in Brazil too. I'm looking forward to that. Tyrann Mathieu.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Carr.
Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu. Yes, Derek Carr. We got to talk to, speaking of Derek Carr, we will have Drew Brees on. They name Rattler the starter. Not what I thought was going to happen there.
Yeah. It was funny. Kellen Moore did tell you it was going to come down to consistency, and that was the first thing he said in his press conference yesterday. As the reason he chose Rattler was just he's a little bit more consistent. I also thought it was interesting. He really harped on the developmental aspect for Chuck, and he was like, "I wanted to make sure we're developing him the right way, and it's important to me that you develop quarterbacks the right way." He kept saying that over and over again. So he's clearly someone who believes that when you sit a quarterback, it helps his development. But yeah, it doesn't seem like he was very complimentary to Chuck, and it seems like they're being patient with him, which I know some fans are like, oh, he's already 26. Why are you being patient? But there's still a process there.
Is Jameis coming to this team?
We'll see.
Does Taysom Hill exist?
Instagram post yesterday.
Is Taysom Hill? Yeah, I know. Is Taysom Hill on PUP to start the year?
Yeah, he is.
What happened to Taysom Hill, the quarterback? That's what I'd like to know. Drew Brees, we'll talk about it.
That's a great question. Yeah.
What did Drew do? What did he put on Instagram?
There was a quote that may or may not have been from Taysom Hill. I guess that's still on the debate, but about Taysom being a QB1 in this league. And Drew put that on his story after Rattler was named the starting quarterback.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Ooh, do we have a music video here? Let's go.
Yes, we do.
That's awesome. Cool.
The Ndamukong I'm taking it, just for the record, I'm breaking it. I did it when they said that it can't be done.
Ndamukong Suh, touchdown!
Champion,
I missed him on the field, and now he's in a car coming from God knows where. Quarterbacks are happy that you're gone, but you are a 3-time first-team All-Pro defensive tackle. I miss you out there, Super Bowl champion Ndamukong Suh. Hi.
Hey, Kat. Kay, how are you doing?
I'm so great. How are you? Where are you? What are you doing? What's happening with you?
I'm traveling all over the world. I'm with my older sister right now, but life is good, so no complaints.
Amazing. You have your podcast. It's such a great listen because you do not hold punches. You are an honest, open book, and we love that. 13-year career. I was thinking about it this morning, and I just thought before we even got into any of, the MICAH storylines or whatever, Lions and so on, Brady, whatever. When I think about you, I really do. Like, if I think about it in a moment, I go back to Super Bowl 55, right? And you were dominant everywhere that you were. But this sack on Patrick Mahomes to shut down any kind of a comeback. Can you walk me through this play?
It's funny. It's a very interesting play. Cam, one of our young guys, I believe he was a rookie that year. I told him that we're going to switch positions. And so I went and played D and he played D tackle. I told him, just run around and we're going to run a special stunt and we're going to meet at the quarterback. And it all came to fruition. So it was one of those things that I was at that time with coaches on that team, especially Coach Casey. I got to be able to kind of make my own rules as a true vet. And as long as I made plays, I didn't get in trouble. Are
you telling me that you guys freelanced that?
Oh yeah, we definitely freelance. Like when we ran plays and we were in pass rush situations, I got to have a wristband. Most of the guys on the defensive had wristbands as well, and we got to make our own plays and made a lot of hay with it. So which was exciting, which I learned from great Jim Washburn back in my early days of playing football with him in Detroit, and then obviously in Miami as well as my coach.
I was down in Tampa. I went down to training camp. It was my first Bucks training camp ever. And I love Todd Bowles. I could just talk to him for like hours. Sounds like he was cool with you guys doing that. How much does that mean that feel like empowered to do your thing?
Yeah, Coach Bowles definitely, even going into that Super Bowl game, he was a guy that was really wanted to play his way of Tampa 2 and really more so not playing Tampa 2 and more so going after the quarterback and blitzing. And we begged him most of the time, like, hey, let us up front in front seven, take care of the run. It's on us. And then we'll be able to have more coverage because obviously Mahomes and his great receivers, Travis KELCE, all the guys that he had, we knew we had to have multiple cover guys to be able to take care of them in the passing game. So definitely was open to changing things. And that's one thing I will definitely pride Coach Bowles on, of being open to changing things and finding a way to win the game regardless.
I love that. I think they're Super Bowl contenders. No one's talking about. I think they take the division again easily, and that would be a disappointment to leave it there with the way that team looks down there. I love it, and I want it for Levante so bad, and for Mike, and yeah, I would love that for them. Go ahead.
No, it'd be great. I mean, I think you left my guy out, Vita Vea, which he's a big part of that. But yeah, for sure, Levante and Mike and all those guys, Baker's coming into a form, which I think he's finally found a home that makes sense for him to be able to be successful, which I think that's every single player at this level of the game. And even in high school and college, you find a coach that loves you and finds ways to pull the best out of you and make plays.
And Ndamukong, you lived behind the line of scrimmage during your career. You were like the ultimate disruptor. You rank 3rd in tackles for loss behind only Aaron Donald and Cam Hayward since 1999. Tell me, who will never experience such a thing, what is it like to be able to impose your will on offensive linemen the way that you did?
It was a true blessing first and foremost, but secondly, I would say it was something that I prided myself on and wanting to play the game to represent the Reggie Whites of the world, and all the other great players that have played ahead of us. And so for me, it was blue-collar football, and that's why I think everything happens for a reason. I thought when I was going to get drafted, I was going to go to Tampa. I knew I wasn't going to St. Louis because they wanted a quarterback. And Gunther Cunningham, if you remember that name, he was like, you're my blue chipper, and you're coming here to Detroit. We're going to play hard-nosed football, and I want you to be the leader of that alongside Kyle Vanderbosch. So it was a great situation, and I loved being able to play my early days there, and then obviously transformed to all the other teams I went to.
You had 71.5 sacks over your career. You are eligible now. 71, so crazy. You're eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2028. What is your relationship with the possibility of a bust in Canton?
My relationship, I don't know if I have one right now, but I hope to have one in 28. It was first brought up to me when I was back in Detroit with Dave Burkett, who's actually, I think, one of the voters, and he wanted to interview me. And I was like, I mean, I'm happy to, but it's something that I would love to have and be able to put on that beautiful jacket. But ultimately, it's not my decision. I think my body of work will speak for itself, but ultimately, it comes down to other people seeing whether or not I'm valued to be able to be a gold jacket.
I'll just make Super Bowl champion, 3 Super Bowls, 3 different teams. That's crazy. 5 all pros, 5 Pro Bowls. We just throw in a casual defensive rookie of the year, a member of the 2010s all decade team. You don't really need to, I like this. You don't really need to have much of a relationship with it. Like you sort of let the numbers and the footage speak for itself, and other people who talk about you. Like I love hearing Jason KELCE talk about how dominant you are and all those things. All of that will matter in 2028. I saw you were at Lions training camp this summer. That's true, right?
Yes, I was there. Yeah.
What was your take? I got to visit for a day too, but I didn't get to, they were inside. I didn't get to see much. What was your takeaway from this team right now?
I think Dan Campbell and Jared Goff, which I was there for Sky Sports, and I was able to interview a lot of those guys. I think they're in a prime position. I think it's going to come down to injuries and things of that nature that they can hopefully have to deal with in this upcoming season. I think they've got a prime group of folks that are ready to play at a high level, but ultimately, I think they're going to have to, one, go take care of the division, which is going to be a very difficult one, especially with Green Bay and their OC being now in Chicago. So there's a lot of guys and a lot of teams that are in that division. They call it the black and blue division for a reason.
Well, let's pick the winner of this black and blue division. I'm looking at it right now. Lions are favorites to win the NFC North. Do you think they win their 3rd division title straight?
I definitely think they have an opportunity to. But again, I think it's a very, very tough division, very wide open. I mean, behooved me not to even mention Minnesota and the run that they had last year in themselves. So, I mean, it is wide open. I think the Bears are going to be silent killers, and they're going to create a lot of havoc. I'm curious to see what Caleb's able to do, especially in his 2nd year. But I think the Detroit Lions will pull it out, though.
What makes you think the Bears will be a silent killer?
I think they're some of the defensive pieces that they have when I've looked at that team, but ultimately I think that coach and really that general team is going to rally and find a way to be able to be competitive no matter what. So I think Caleb and that offense are going to find a groove as they started to do later in the season from last year, from my recollection, and they're going to be a team to be reckoned with.
Ben Johnson was on the staff when you were in Miami, Sue.
Yeah.
When you think about that, you're with that smile, where does your head go when you think Ben Johnson 2015? Did he have this in him? Was he as much of a intense madman creative guy? Could you see this path for him then?
I wouldn't say I could see the path, but I could definitely see the likability of players gravitating towards him. He was more on the offense side of the ball. I believe he was a tight ends coach at that time, but I still had great interactions with him and competing. And so ultimately, I think he's well deserving of it. He's proved it throughout the years and worked himself up through the ranks. And then ultimately, you got to remember that him and Dan Campbell are very similar in how they're cut from the same cloth. Hard-nosed, hard-working people. They were both actually in Miami at the time. And Dan was our interim head coach my first year. So he definitely knows what he's going to do and be able to create something special there.
When you're there and you're with Sky Sports, which is you've been crushing on that with your podcast, and I remember you were at Broadcast Boot Camp, so it's all working out for you, and that's awesome. As you make your bid for your Hall of Fame 2028, have they talked to you about retiring as a Lion?
There's been no discussion, so it's I don't know what the relationship is going to be like with that one in the future. But I know I've got a great relationship with the Philadelphia Eagles, which I've spent an amazing year there, as well as the Tampa Bay Bucks. So ultimately, I mean, there's a lot of teams that are out there that still love me.
But I feel like you're close with Dan Campbell, right? You think the Lions don't love you?
You'd have to ask them. I'll leave it at this. I don't necessarily feel the love.
Well, is that something we can work on? I feel like that got worked on with another Hall of Famer. I don't know. I'm just thinking like you won your Defensive Rookie of the Year. You won 3 All-Pros in Detroit. If I would want you to retire there, what do you want?
I haven't decided on anything of that nature. I mean, I think I'd be open to a discussion, but as you mentioned, I think you're speaking of Barry Sanders and probably even Calvin Johnson from that perspective of having to really mend some fences. It has to be a discussion first and foremost before anything.
I hope it works out how you want. And I was talking about Calvin, who I think very openly felt the same way for a bit, and it got fixed. Maybe he can sort of help with that. Okay, well, you had talked about Jared Goff. I very much remember how high you were on Jared Goff. So being there, seeing him, is it like wild to see him thriving as much as he has as a Lion? It's something that you sort of, you recognize something in him early on.
Yeah, I mean, I got to spend an amazing year with him in LA, and we got to a Super Bowl, and seeing his growth in that year, which he was still very much so a young pup, and then being able to see him now and where he's being able to take the reins fully versus being a little bit handicapped, in my opinion, when he was in his LA days, and then kind of being thrown to the wayside of saying, nah, you don't really fit with what we're trying to do. Now he's empowered, and he's in a situation where he can be successful, and he can really have ownership in his success, which I think that's what all athletes want at the end of the day. And so having conversations with him, not only from an interview perspective, but even sidebar, I joked with him when I was there, man, we talk more now as non-teammates than we were teammates. So it's always interesting. And it even been the same case with many other guys that I'm close with still to this day.
What's it like to have this broadcasting role? Like you're interviewing these, like what is that like?
Man, it is very, very eye-opening and surprising at the same time. As you mentioned, I went to the broadcast boot camp, I think maybe 4 or 5 years ago now, and I never ever thought this was going to be the case. But I think it was a great thing, and I give all the credit to Tracy Perlman of pushing me and challenging me and getting out of my comfort zone, which she's amazing at doing, say the least. And it was something that I'm glad I did because then I got the surprise opportunity with Sky Sports and being able to see what's going to potentially happen with them for a long period of time. I'm excited about that. And doing interviews with guys and catching up with them and being able to support them from afar or in person when I am around camps and at different games is definitely fun for me, and it keeps me close to the game, which I'm excited about.
You're so freaking good at this. You really
Thank
are.
You. I got some lessons to learn from you, though.
No, you literally, you're so freaking good at this. I was just looking back at the history, and like, it's cool to see how it is all working out for you. I don't know if Sky Sports is a good place to be with the way that the league is going and expanding and the role you play there. It's very cool. And that's the last time I saw you, was over there in London. I wanted to, as we're talking about Goff, this top 100 list was like everything when you were playing. It isn't as much, I feel like, it's not like as big anymore. I don't know why, there's just too much social media, too much whatever, but it was everything. And I remember you were ranked 24th inside the top 25 back in 2015. But if you look at this, and I was thinking about the quarterbacks that you've played for, oh my gosh, Sue, like everybody. I mean, obviously Brady when he was playing, but if you look at the active guys on this NFL 100 list, you've got Hurts at 19, Goff, who we talked about, that hasn't been revealed yet. Okay, so he's somewhere in the top 15. Stafford's at 59. Did your NFL friends get it right?
Would be behooved to say that I think Jalen should be a little bit higher. There's something that I think a lot of people don't understand his success, and I know they give him a lot of grief for being more of a running quarterback and not having the stats from a passing perspective. But you got to also be very, very keen on they're sometimes blowing teams out, and you forget who his running mate is with Saquon. Like, why would you not run the ball and run the clock out and get the game over and go home and get healthy and get ready for the next game? So you got to understand the full scheme of what they're trying to do and create over there in Philly. And I got to be a part of that, obviously without Saquon, but we had great running backs when he wasn't there. And so ultimately, I think Jalen should be a lot higher.
Think they run it back?
I think they're going to have a really good chance to. I mean, Howie is always making quality moves, as we see all the time, and all the breaking news. But being able to be at their camp and seeing how well a lot of their young guys, especially in the trenches, I got to watch their one-on-ones. Man, they're putting in some work.
I wanted to ask you about Stafford. He's dealing with a back problem. The Rams, a contender, they want to go. They're saying he's expected to be out there week 1. You played with him a long time ago. Do you think he has one more run in him?
Don't know. The reason why I don't know is because I don't follow LA very much, but I'd behoove myself to not say Sean McVay has a way of being very creative, no matter who his quarterback is. Obviously, if he does have Matthew Stafford at full health, I think he has a lot of great opportunities and weapons. And I think they'll have an opportunity to kind of really take over the NFC West from that perspective. But I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to watch them as they continue to evolve. And I don't know how well their defense is playing this year. I think they will need to have a full top to bottom organization that's going to be able to help them lead them, as every single team that gets to the Super Bowl has to have.
I'm from Chicago, so I watched a lot of NFC North growing up, and I watched a lot of, not even growing up, but when you would go up against Aaron, you did it 12 times. You went up against Aaron Rodgers 12 times. You're smiling when I bring up his name. No part of you, when I say his name, makes you want to like call up the Bengals and lace him up to get a couple licks at him?
No, not at all. But I smile because I enjoy creating havoc and make him upset every single time I play.
Tell me more.
This play vividly. This play right there vividly, just pissing him off right before halftime. And couldn't get a throw off, and he wants to talk melodies to me prior to that play, and I got the last laugh.
You got the last laugh, and he's playing, which is awesome. I want to ask you one thing before we let you go. Obviously, like, you're an analyst, this MICAH thing, you're the perfect person to ask about it. I listened to what you were saying about him like a month ago, saying handle it professionally. On your podcast, you said, don't miss games. I think that was it. Like, it'll get done late. So that was your prediction. Now we're 8 days away. Things have escalated a little bit. Does he miss games?
Hoping not. But again, everybody is each to their own and how they want to handle their business. It's my understanding he's still under contract, and it'd be behooving for him not to be able to say you play on that contract and you continue to bet on yourself that you're going to be able to play at a high level, and then unfortunately you'll have to reach free agency when you're a type of cornerstone player where the Cowboys should be paying you very, very handsomely and being able to move on and be on the same side of the table instead of opposite side of the tables, focused on getting a championship.
There's a lot of rumors about him going to the Packers overnight, which would be fun. The Lions, the Vikings. Where should he go if he got moved?
It would be a monumental movement if he went to the Green Bay Packers, in my opinion, but I'm not sure where the best fit would be. I think he has to look at that where he has the most freedom to be who he is and be able to be his most impactful, not only on the field, but off the field as well.
The podcast is called No Free Lunch, by the way. Everybody go check it out. And then I was going to ask you about your sons, Kingston. He was wearing a Caleb jersey. I feel like you're a Bears fan. I just want you to know this is weird. This is not what I would expect. You being friends with any quarterback is weird. And now you're like saying they're going to be silent killers. Like, clearly there's some connection there. I'm on to you.
Yeah, I got some love for Caleb. I think I supported him, and he was very gracious to send both my sons, Kingston and Kari, signed jerseys. And I supported him from a standpoint of like pushing him to be who he is as an individual, but broadening himself outside in the business world, because it'll only help him in being able to play football at a high level. And so we got connected, and so I've got a little love for that quarterback in Caleb, but not too much. I told him, man, my boys can't be quarterbacks, and then two, if I come out of retirement and Detroit situation comes together, I may have to come out and hit you.
This isn't going to help you mend things with the Lions, my friend. Like, I'm trying to get you to retire there. Now you're over here talking about Caleb. I don't know. Guys, please download, watch, stream, comment, No Free Lunch podcast with Ndamukong Suh on The Athletic and YouTube. And speaking of quarterbacks, look who we have here. Should we go? You two have history too. Drew Brees, Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's one of the best.
This brings back some flashbacks, man. It's like PTSD.
Nah,
I'm tired
you
of
were
this
one
dude
of the
chasing.
favorite to hit, but I got a lot of respect for you, man. No
Hey, you
question.
too. I tried to be
Where
a
does
hard
your head
sack.
go?
You know, I
Where does
wasn't
your
gonna
head
make
go
it
when you
easy.
see him?
Goes to NFC. No, not NFC, but many battles. We've had a lot of fun again. Yeah, a lot of NFC Championship stuff, and I mean, Drew's one of the best, man. So he made it very difficult for me to get to him.
Oh no! Don't do this.
Look
What
at
are we
you queued that
doing?
up. Oh, you queued that up really quick. He didn't give me that many times, did he? Oh, come on.
Couple times in this game, but you guys are
But
both
that-
absolute legends, Hall of Fame
one of the
bound.
best.
And
One of
Ndamukong,
the
great to
best.
see you. Thank you so much. Drew, that was no way to bring you into the show. I'm sorry. On this busy day where you're making the rounds, did you think you'd wake up and see Ndamukong Suh this morning?
No, I didn't. That's what I was saying. That was like a PTSD moment there. That kind of scared me.
It's so great to see you. Super Bowl 44 MVP, 13-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro, 2-time Offensive Player of the Year, second all-time in passing yards and touchdowns. Of course, Drew Brees, happy to have you. Week 1 is here, and it is just amazing. I heard you say Bills on Fox and Friends this morning. I saw. Can you tell me how that's going to happen? What is the path for them?
Well, it's more so the guys that I root for, you know, and I love everything about Josh Allen. I love the type of teammate he is. I mean, you can just tell when his teammates talk about him. I mean, that's the number one thing I would look at and use to evaluate a quarterback is just tell me how his teammates feel about him. And if they would run through a brick wall for him, I think that says everything that you would want to know. And not only that, but I think the way this guy connects with the community and the Bills Mafia, you know, a lot of that fan base reminds me of the Who Dat Nation. And I'd say similar to maybe like the Detroit fans and what, you know, that team has meant to that city. You know, I can identify with those, you know, two organizations and especially with, you know, kind of the New Orleans connection. So, man, I root for places like that. I root for guys like that. So yeah, with what's happened to them in the playoffs here over the last few years, you know, and going up against the Chiefs, I'd love to see him have the opportunity.
I was at the Super Bowl with you. We were in like adjoining suites. I'm just remembering now.
That's right. Me and Reggie Bush.
Yes, and it was so quiet, and we're like, "What's happening here?" And looking at these Chiefs. Do you think? I mean, how did they get past them, or do you think the Chiefs took a step down? Is it just that the Bills made a step up? I'm trying to think of how they get past the Chiefs in this one.
Yeah, look, I think what I noticed in the right when that game started was first off just how good that Philly defensive line was in getting after, you know, Mahomes. But honestly, it was more so the fact that I felt like the Chiefs lacked somebody at the receiver position at that time that was dynamic enough just to be a matchup problem. Like there was nobody that was a real matchup problem for Philly. And obviously they were missing Rashee Rice. They had lost him early in the season. And so it just became evident that that's kind of what they were missing. Look, I think when you look to any, you know, great team right now, man, they've got some dynamic playmakers, you know, at the offensive positions to go along with a quarterback who can distribute it. You know, the Chiefs always have a chance because they've got Patrick Mahomes. And also because I love their defense and I love their defensive scheme. But there's a lot of people that are gunning for them.
There certainly are. I like that pick of the Bills. A sexy little pick that people are making here in August, of course. Now you were at Saints camp, I saw, and you've started in 19 season openers, and now we'll see Spencer Rattler start his first as the QB1 in New Orleans. Kellen Moore names Rattler over Shuck. Were you surprised by that?
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, look, they're both young players. Rattler's only in his second year, and Tyler Shuck was just drafted, right? In fact, I think Tyler Shuck might be older than Rattler. He had 7 years in college. But look, I was impressed with Rattler last year, especially on a team that, look, they were decimated by injury. You know, he lost Olave and Shaheed early in that year, and you know, so really was kind of shorthanded. And you're a rookie quarterback, you're trying to figure it out. So I think this year he has a little bit of that experience under his belt. He's got a healthy crop of receivers. They go out and get Brandon Cooks, which is another guy who can blow the top off and do some things in the passing game. Alvin Kamara looks as good as I've ever seen him. That offensive line, in my opinion, is one of the best in the NFL. I think defensively, they're doing a lot of really good stuff, and they still have that core group with Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, and then all these guys that they've drafted at the linebacker position in the secondary. So, look, I think if you just want to match rosters, I think they have a really impressive roster. You would just say, hey, the big question mark or the biggest thing we need to see is, hey, how can the quarterback play? And if he can manage the game, distribute the ball, and make good decisions, then look, who scares you in the NFC South right now? I mean, there's Tampa may have the edge just because they've won the division a couple of times. Baker Mayfield is now an experienced veteran quarterback, but look, Atlanta's trying to establish themselves with a new quarterback, Michael Penix. Carolina Panthers kind of made a jump last year. Bryce Young, the adversity that he faced, I love the way he responded and the way he played. I'm a big fan of his. But really, who scares you? I think the division is wide open, and I think the Saints have as good an opportunity as anybody.
Young, you started by saying, I'm not surprised they're both young quarterbacks. There's been a lot of talk, and Kellen's young. It's his first. Where's the veteran guy? Cam Jordan's like, can we trade for Jameis? That's what he said before this quarterback competition and training camp even started. Go ahead.
I think that's what I always assumed. I assumed that we would see training camp play out here, and that if there was a veteran quarterback that could be traded for to bring into the room, whether that player starts or whether they're just there as a support system for the young guys. Look, I think that's vital. It's vital. Beyond just the fact that, hey, you've got a great coach in Kellen Moore, and you've got other, the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach that are there that have a ton of experience to help coach them. You need someone in the QB room that can not only support the player, help them with film study, help them really more so than anything be a buffer between, play caller, O coordinator, even quarterback coach and the starter. Like, you really need that. I look at my career, and man, I had a Doug Flutie early in my career. I had a Mark Brunell when I was when we went and won a Super Bowl. Like, those two guys were so influential in my career. Even though I was the starter, those guys were great mentors for me during that time. So I think for any young QB, it's really vital to have a veteran guy there alongside you.
Why isn't that guy Taysom Hill? I know he's injured right now.
Look, we could sit here and talk for hours about Taysom Hill. I love Taysom Hill. He's one of my great friends. I'm his biggest fan. To me, had someone 7 years, I guess when I retired, should have made a commitment to Taysom Hill and said, you know what, we're going to build an offense around you. We're going to build a team around you, like your quarterback. And we're going to give you that opportunity. And I think he would have been a very successful quarterback in this league. The unfortunate thing for Taysom Hill is he was such a special player in so many other ways that he brought so much value as this Swiss Army knife. I mean, literally, I've seen Taysom play fullback, running back, H-back, tight end, slot receiver, return kicks, return punts, block kicks, block punts. I mean, literally, I've never seen an athlete like him, ever. And we may never see an athlete like him ever again, just because he was that unique. And so it was almost like his value at those other positions and in those other roles almost overshadowed the fact that, hey, you could really dedicate yourself to this guy as a quarterback and build this thing around him. And unfortunately, he never got that opportunity. But I think had he would have been a really good quarterback in this league for a long time.
I mean, I saw something on your Instagram story. That's why I wanted to ask.
Oh, look, yeah, I had to gas it up a little bit, look.
You never, no, do you mean you never gas it up? I was like, oh, snap, Drew.
Man, I love the guy. I love the guy. He was an incredible teammate. He's an incredible human. And he deserves everything that comes his way. And look, I think he's gotten the respect he deserves. I think when you say the name Taysom Hill, I think the NFL world, and certainly anybody who's played with him or against him, and then just I think the fans would say, yeah, I mean, he's one of the most dynamic players in the NFL, and one of the most unique guys. But for a guy who had, a front row seat to that for 4 years, there's nobody like him.
There's only 2 quarterbacks on that roster. I know he's banged up. When he comes back, should he get an opportunity?
Well, look, there's no reason he couldn't play 10 plays a game at the QB position now. I mean, it'd be hard to get him ramped up. Look, he's coming off the injury. It'd be hard to literally get him ramped up and say, hey, you're the starting quarterback. Yeah. But there's no reason. I mean, even when I was still playing, I mean, I would look at the OC and be like, look, first off, I want us to win, right? That's all I care about. And if that means that Taysom Hill needs to play 10, 12 snaps a game, and
Wow.
we can do all this crazy stuff that we do with him, the QB runs and the play action and launch it. Like, if that's going to help us win, absolutely. So it's always been my opinion that even if you had a premier starter, Taysom Hill could play easily 7 to 12 snaps a game at quarterback, and just, it's a defensive coordinator's nightmare.
I love that you welcomed that. That's not everybody. It says a lot about you. And he did keep the team alive. I remember, I forget what year it was, 2021, maybe it was the 4-1. He's 7-2 as a starter. He can help win. It's a good, Kellen, it's a lot on your plate, but do well by the fans and get Taysom in there when he can.
That's right.
Speaking of, your time, Sean Payton and all that, I know you spent some time with Bo Nix. I know that. He told me, Sean, when I went to visit Broncos camp, that he shortened the play calls for Bo, the verbiage. Did you ever think you'd see that day?
No, I didn't. But I mean, Sean's the mad scientist. It was like, it's like the more ingredients, the better. It's like gumbo. But no, here's the thing. Look, Sean and I were together 15 years. And like, if you went back to our offense in 2006, when we first got there, it looks like third grade offense compared to where we evolved to, right? So it was all that time together and all that institutional knowledge that, like, we just kept adding, because look, so much of the communication falls on the quarterback in the huddle. I don't care how long the play call is. And I got to the point where I don't care if I have to tag every single position or every single receiver as to what to do. I just want guys to know where to line up and exactly what to do. So if you want to put that on me, that's fine. I would rather that than just have a bunch of stuff that guys have to memorize, right? So I embraced the responsibility. And I think because of our relationship and because of our, just the evolution of the offense, we were just kind of right there with each other. I couldn't imagine a quarterback coming from college and just jumping right into that same place. It kind of has to go back to square one. And then now let's build this thing together again with a new QB. So look, I'm sure that this will continue to evolve for Bo as he develops a comfort level with the offense, and the play calls and everything just becomes more second nature and natural, and it just rolls off the tongue. I mean, it truly is like learning a new language. You're learning a new language in addition to trying now to develop timing and chemistry with the guys around you.
We've got to get you back. I need you to coach. I can't wait to see what's ahead for you. But you are always doing good. And you are here on behalf of Abbott and the Big Ten Conference. You are tackling critical blood shortages that are happening across the country. It's the second season of the We Give Blood Drive. You can sign up at big10.org/Abbott. What's going on there?
Yeah, so we are in a huge blood shortage in our country. And so with Abbott and the Big Ten Conference, we are kind of embarking on the second season of this campaign, which is the We Give Blood Drive. So we're basically encouraging everybody to get out and give blood and recognize truly what a difference that makes. Somebody needs blood every 2 seconds. Your blood donation can save 3 lives, which is incredible. All the blood that's given, more than 25% of it goes to cancer patients. So I know that every one of us has some sort of a close connection to cancer, whether it be a family, a friend, or a loved one. And why not kind of build in a competition amongst the Big Ten schools as well? So all 18 Big Ten schools, we're encouraging family, friends, students, alumni, everybody to get out, donate blood, and then you can go to big10.org/Abbott, and you can register your blood donation to the school of your choice. And the winning school, the school that donates the most blood, is going to get $1 million towards student and health activities in and around campus. But even if you're not affiliated with a Big Ten school, just go out and donate blood, recognize the difference that it's going to make.
Big10.org/Abbott there. Speaking of making a difference, you certainly do that. Cancer affects everyone. And what you and Brittany did and continue to do with the Dream Foundation, it's like over 20 years of helping improve the quality for cancer patients and their families. Like, thank you for all that you do. And congratulations on your eligibility for the Hall of Fame. I should say before I go, first ballot without question, in my opinion. I don't think we have to make the case. I'm curious, do you think Phillip Rivers will be joining you?
You know what? I hope so. I look at that list of guys that are eligible, and it's a pretty impressive list. I mean, guys that I played with or played against for a long time and have so much respect for. I recognize it's a tough decision for all the voters. I had a chance to be in Canton this year to watch Antonio Gates go into the Hall of Fame, former teammate of mine with the Chargers, and so deserving. Saw LaDainian Tomlinson, saw a bunch of former teammates. It was like a big Charger reunion fact from those days. But I think it was the first time it kind of hit me that this all could be a reality, you know, and I think just being a part of that club and more so anything, you just kind of have this flashback of the history of the NFL and the fact that, you know, we came into the NFL riding on the shoulders of those who came before us. And now all these guys are, you know, kind of riding on our shoulders. And that's just kind of this idea of leaving the game better than when you found it and always paying it forward and trying to make it better. And it's a great honor to be a part of it. It was an incredible journey as a player, but you know, I'm almost having as much fun as a fan watching my boys playing fantasy football with my boys and broadcasting games for Netflix and you know all that fun stuff. Talking about the game with you, it's great.
Next year it's your turn in Canton. I hope you scoped out the real estate, where you want to be, what you want it to look like. I appreciate you, Drew, and all that you do, of course, for the game of football and outside of it. Great to see you, and we'll see you on Netflix.
Thanks, Kay. You're the best.
See ya. We'll be back. You're the best. We'll be back after this. Loved that Taysom Hill spice out of a Drew Brees. Never saw that coming. We'll be back. And so we're clear, everybody. Drew Brees being first ballot, surefire, it's all happening, does not affect Philip. Like, it's different because he'll be in a different world. So just interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, you got to think Drew's automatic there with everything he's done. No question.
Yeah. Be back Tuesday morning. Okay, what do we got here? Okay. Okay.
No.
Okay. I don't so this
You gotta scroll down a bunch.
E-block?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But the thing at the end of that, the last thing in that, where it says K Future Specials.
I don't know what you're saying.
So if you keep scrolling down.
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah. Got it.
Sweet.
This is the NFC North teams, right?
Yeah. Yep.
The 3 will make it. Okay, like Sue and the Lions.
Yeah. We got to fix that.
And then he went Barry, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot. We got to get this together.
Yeah.
I know he didn't make it seem like Dan was helping him out. Okay, here's some future specials that I like over on FanDuel Sportsbook. Look at these odds. Plus 340 for 3 or more NFC North teams to make the playoffs. Yes, please. And by the way, you cannot get this bet anywhere else but FanDuel. You got to go to the NFL section of the app, click on the Future Specials tab to find this bad boy. How about the return on that Around the Horns division winner parlay? Love this. You're getting plus 800 for Bills, Texans, and Rams. This is so stupid. I love it. Huge payout for something I think is actually going to happen. Go there, check it out. Have some fun responsibly. Of course, we'll be back. Okay.
So we got word we are good to do that tomorrow.
Yeah, there's no hold.
Awesome. Amazing.
I think I said that on the call. Sorry if I didn't.
Oh.
Okay. There's been no discussion.
Man, yeah, that has to be fixed.
He just wants to feel the love. He said it without. He said it. He said, "There's other teams that I feel the love from."
Yeah. And it was a complicated end there for him.
Is he friendly with Calvin?
I'm not sure what their relationship is.
I don't know. I don't want to know anything about those innards. I just want. Yeah.
So yeah, he meant a lot to that organization. I was when I was working for the Lions up there, he was still on the team, and
he's really good at broadcasting, man.
Oh yeah, he is incredible. Yeah, he would always, he'd instigate with the offensive guy, but he was awesome to be around. He really was up there.
Yeah.
Like he had that switch that would flip, but he was so cool to be around. He treated like everybody, the intern, so well, like everybody on that team.
I'm happy he joined us.
But yeah, he's phenomenal. We got to get him back.
Oh my gosh. Thielen's kids are so excited. We're going home.
Oh, that's awesome.
You're welcome, Adam. And respective children. You're welcome.
Yeah, you made
Adam.
those kids' days.
Yeah. K strikes again. What does he have? Can you look up Thielen has this like speed training company with his trainer. My nephew's in the classes. EMS speed, like speed.
ETS performance.
Yeah. It's got a bunch of those in Minnesota. Just saying.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How about Drew Brees saying the Bucks?
Yeah. There's nobody that scares you in that division. Drew.
We gotta get that out into the world. Drew.
Baker's just another check on the list.
Welcome back to the show. Big thanks to big guests Ndamukong Suh for finally debuting, gracing us with this presence. We got to fix that relationship with the Lions. You heard it here first. Somebody get it going. Jan Campbell, I think. What if Ndamukong Suh gets the league somehow to let the Lion be on the sideline? I feel like that real Lion situation, then I feel like we're on to something.
That would do it.
We're on to the road to repair. And big thanks to Drew Brees, of course, for all the goodness he's doing, and also not thinking the Bucks are scary. It's interesting. Or the Bills rolling over the Chiefs, a lot of good stuff. Tomorrow we will have Aiden Hutchinson on the program. Who else?
Vince Young.
I don't think
Latavius
no,
Murray.
Who?
Vince Young and Latavius Murray as well.
Let's go. Great. Love that.